Basic greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov, and this is the channel Viktor Fursov, Entomologist, Beekeeper, Ukraine. If you are interested to know about innovational and effective Ukrainian beehive, this video will be especially for you. Don't switch off. So, what's about beehive? Actually, today, November 18th, 2016, and actually it's pretty cold outside, but today I'm interested to tell you about interesting, very effective Ukrainian beehive and special frames, which I put here just on my table in kitchen, and of course tell you about structure of this beehive, why this beehive is so effective and innovational. Actually, I'm tasting nice Ukrainian honey with nice tea collected in these frames. By the way, Ukrainians, beekeepers, were collecting honey in big jars like that. You see, half already done. And what's about beehives? You might say that honeybees were collecting honey, not beehives, but nevertheless, the structure of beehive, the structure of frames, I must say, very important for storage of honey and how bees harvesting honey will store it and how they will survive, how the colony of honeybees will survive and develop and live during the whole season. This is very important, and it depends from the place where they are living, and they are living actually either in natural nest somewhere in a hollow tree, or they are living in beehive. So if you will make perfect beehive, the structure will be perfect, and you can say the honeybees will not only surviving, but they will be developing in this beehive effectively and efficiently, collecting, harvesting honey for beekeeper. And what's about this Ukrainian beehive? Actually, this beehive was described already in 3 books of Ukrainian beekeeper Vasyl Priyatelenko. This is his invention. So this beehive was presented at International Beekeepers Congress API Mondia in 2013 in Kiev, Ukraine, then in International Beekeeping Congress API Slavia in Muhla, Turkey, and also in South Korea, again at International Beekeeping Congress API Mondia again in 2015. So we already presented this beehive at Congress and published some papers, abstracts, and described it. But nevertheless, in basic books like in this book published by Ukrainian beekeepers and experts, Bodnarchuk, Solomacha, history of beehives, with different beehives here, starting from Dadant, Landstroth, and others, Huber. All structures were here, but not this kind of beehive. And of course, this beehive is not the same beehive as invented by the Ukrainian beekeeper Prokopovich. This is a book with papers of Ivan Prokopovich, which invented multi-framed beehive 120 years ago in Ukraine. Actually, this is a competition who was the first, Dadant, Landstroth or Prokopovich. Prokopovich, probably he invented it the first in Europe. And this beehive not indicated in this book, actually the ABC to ZYX of bee culture, published by Root Company in Ohio, USA. So that's why I hope so that my very short discussion and description of the structure of these frames and beehive will be interesting for English-speaking beekeepers, or by they who can understand English, because Vasyl Priyatelenko is producing this beehive now, and he is ready to supply it worldwide. He is ready to send it abroad out of Ukraine. So if you are interested in the structure of this beehive, interested how it's working, he is ready to send it by postage to USA, Canada, to any country of Europe, just make your order, write it in comments, and we will discuss it, how to do it. I will remind you about it later. But what about Beehive and also these frames? The main structure, the structure of these frames, because they are inside Beehive. And of course the structure of Beehive is very important. You know that in Ukraine winter is very cold, the same like in Canada. So I guess so that this Beehive will be very efficient in some cold areas, because all the wintering of bee colony is a very important, because losing of your colonies in winter time is crucial. By the way, how to avoid it? For that we propose to use this structure of Beehive, and it's very efficient for very successful overwintering of bee colonies. So you see, this is frame. This is frame, narrow, deep frame. And by the way, I will tell you about this frame deposited inside bee box. And by the way, the first bee box, brood box, must be with 12 frames. I show you the structure on this picture. Yes, 12 frames, narrow, deep, and the size 265 for 400 millimeters. This is the size of foundation inside the Beehive. And of course, down there on this frame, sometimes these burr combs will appear, of course with the drone combs. So beekeeper must cut it. Definitely. You can recognize here on this picture that downside of these frames, the drone combs will appear definitely. So you cut it and you avoid infestation with the varroa, and also you avoid appearance extra number of drones. By the way, what's going on later? Okay, first brood box with 12 frames. 12 frames. This is first brood box, but for development of a big colony, because this will be just for small colony, just enough one Beehive, one box. But for big colony, you must make this kind of multi-story Beehive. Okay, 3 stories Beehive. Initially, you must add to the first brood box the second one and put it down where? Under the first brood box. Like this, okay? For the second brood box, you must use this foundation, these frames, and size of these frames 260 for 415 millimeters. This is a foundation, of course wired. This one is wired as well. So, but this will be down box and this is upper box. But the most interesting peculiarity for 2 boxes, the position, crossing position of frames. Why and how? Well, like that. This is like that because in upper box will be 12 frames, narrow, deep, and in the down box will be 8 frames, like that. Yes? So they will be standing on one on another. So like that. And you say they will be touched toughly. No, not at all. Not at all. They attached, but not so toughly as you think. I show you. They attached on some points. On these 12 points. 12 points they attached. Or end bars and down bars. So they have these 12 points of attachment. So that's why 2 boxes can be easily removed with Beekeeper's tool. Well, but the positioning, cross positioning is very important. But the second and the most interesting in the structure of this frame, the structure of end bar. You can see, you probably already recognize it, but I will show you on a short distance. You can see this is end bar. An end bar, narrow, yes, not wooden, waxed, and that's metallic. This is metallic profile, metallic N-shaped profile, right? I'm not mistaken, yes, N-shaped profile, very narrow. And why it is so important? By the way, it is very important. It is very important because, as I showed you already, first of all, N-shaped is very useful because in end structure you can easily insert inside the foundation. It's easily inserted and then easily wired, because you can see here wire, and it will be easily waxed by honeybees. And again, this is very narrow. Why? Because when you put these frames one on another, you can see here will be some distances between frames. Between frames will be some distances. Well, with honeybee distance. But no honeybee distance between upper box and down box. All frames were attached one to another toughly. Not toughly, as I said. Can be easily removed, but no distance between this frame and this frame. This is the second peculiarity. Very surprising, very unusual, and very effective. Why it is very effective? Because you see, when you put frames like that, I will use also, well, this is already, I can use this frame, well, to show you the structure inside the honeybee box. Well, this one, and wait. This one, here I have a system, wait. Well, okay, right, so this is a down box and this is upper box, right. This is well the position. Okay, here 8 frames in down box and 12 frames here. Well, by the way, I have a small assistant. I'll show you a little bit. Oh, wait. This is my small assistant. This dog, terrier, Tosha, he is just listening to my lecture as well. So, wait a little. Well, so you see, the upper frames were attached to down frames. And this is very important. Why they attached and why it is very useful. Because this will make united structure of a brood part of this nest. Yes, all these 2 boxes will be united all together. So it will be here 8 frames and 12, so altogether 16 frames. And this will be sufficient space for development of brood. Well, very much sufficient for development in the summertime, and also enough space and enough food for overwintering. So for overwintering, bees will be making here all this colony all together in the central part. And if I will be making the colony here, it will be going down and feeding on this food, on this honey, is sufficiently overwintering. And here pretty enough space for development of brood, for development of new young bees. And what will be later? You see, this is the down part, and here on the top, second part, and the most interesting, then again, when harvesting time is coming, you must put the next super on the top. The super will be on the top like that. Wait. On the top. Yes. You can recognize. I can put it here. Wait. Like this. And like that. Well, I show you. These all 3 all together. Yes. Like that. You can see cross crossing position for all these three frames. All on the top will be 12, on the top will be 8 frames, in the middle will be 12 frames, and again 8 in down box. All together will be, okay, 16 plus 12, 28 frames all together. Very much enough space for development of brood and also for collecting honey in upper box. In super, I show you in a super, bees will be coming and collecting here. Okay, not here. This frame is from the super. By the way, it's already without honey. But sometimes queen can enter to the top. We don't put here honeyman plate to avoid coming here queen. Queen will not come in because enough space for brood down there. Sometimes only come in and making very small part of a brood. Very small part. Everything will be here with the honey. Actually, this frame will weigh approximately 3 kilos or 3.5. So from this part, nothing. Yeah, very clean. Only honey. 3.5 kilo of honey on the top. And you can see again here with a lot of wax. And it will be attached again, as I said, to down box. Only in 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Only in 8 points. So that's why it's easy. It can be easily removed. Upper box, easily removed from middle box. And by the way, again, from crossing position like that. So these are frames from the super. I show the positioning on this picture, right? Easy to show. So you can see 8 frames in a down box, 12 frames in a middle box, and 8 frames again in a super box. Well, so harvesting box super is very efficient. So it's very effective to collect honey, and without honeyman plate, which is necessary to avoid usually in multi-story beehive to avoid queen coming up. So this place is not isolated. Queen can come, but not coming usually. So, and why it is efficient? It is efficient first of all because of the structure of this hand-shaped metallic top bar, and also it's very effective because frames they attached one to another without bee space. All boxes, upper box, middle box and down box, they attached like this with no bee distance. Yes, I'm not mistaken, without bee distance between boxes. Usually there is some distance like 20 millimeters like that between upper box and middle box, or maybe here again. Usually in most beehives they're like that with some distance. Okay, 12 millimeters, 20 millimeters here, or 30 millimeters. So honeybees they must go down there and they should go through this distance. In most cases, if you do it in a winter time, sometimes honeybees they don't like to go down because here big distance, they don't want to go to a cold place. But if you put it like that, for overwintering it's very crucial. All the colony can go smoothly to go down. They go very smoothly from upper frame to down frame through this connection, and the honeybees will easily survive, and this will be very prosperous and developing colony in winter time, and then again in a new springtime. It is very efficient for overwintering of honeybees. And actually this structure of beehive for honeybee showed that health of honeybees improved here. Why? That's of course a little bit miracle, but this is under the scientific investigation now. It can be proved because this is a natural structure of united structure of colony, which helps to develop smoothly and gradually the bee colony on all boxes, on the middle box and the down box all together, and it avoids high infestation of bees, and it will improve their resistance. And by the way, the health of honeybees on this structure of beehive much better in times, much better on this structure. The efficiency of honeybee colony also very efficient. Without transporting of these beehives, it's easy to collect up to 40 kilos from one beehive, 3 stories beehive. 40 kilos for one season, 40 kilo up to 30, 40, 45 kilos for from one beehive. And actually this beehive can be called as a lazy beehive, because when you make this brood part down and middle boxes all together, you don't need to insert your activities inside, you don't need to check it. During the whole season all these 2 boxes were united and they're working, they're developing brood, so you don't need to go inside, you don't need to spend your time. So this can be like a lazy beehive, so it's less time, less cost of spending time for this beehive. And finally, okay, health, improvement against the varroa, good harvesting, less time, and of course this is easy to control, to develop the colonies without transportation. And okay, fourth peculiarity, it's a small swarming activity. Yes, very important, especially in highly populated area. When you have this type of 2 stories, this type, this will be united colony. And by the way, swarming activity is less, so swarms can appear but very small, up to 500 grams only. It's easy to collect them and make splits, very small splits, but all colony will be here all together and developing efficiently and harvesting very good harvest of honey during the whole season without any transportation. This is very important. So this is a very short description of these frames. I will show you again. Yes. And I must say